Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. I made it 5 seconds before the open, guys. Let's see what it does. Let's see here. Okay, it looks like they're going to trade it down, but a little bit of mixed volume both ways. All right, well, we have an interesting day. It is Monday. And the big news is that there was an attack on Saudi oil production. This attack is believed to have been made by a Iran-backed actor, not the Iran government themselves, but a proxy. I don't even have an oil chart up. I tend not to like to keep it up because, you know, things get really hairy, but actually, let's not do it over there. Let's do it over here. Duplicate a new tab. Futures. CL. Okay, so let's go to the charts. So here's oil. You can see quite a bit higher. We were at 55, and they made it almost to 63. Well, almost to 60, actually almost exactly 63.50. So anyways, but they're coming back now. And the Trump administration is saying that they're going to release, they're going to release oil from the strategic reserve. So that could bring price back down. But this is the sort of thing is really, really hard to trade because in the short term, the disruption might not be that big. And there's all sorts of things that governments can do to smooth out the supply disruption. But the larger effects from the political instability that creates around the world and the situation with Iran escalating kind of hurts everything. So you can see it coming over here in the 10-year. Oh my, we're like so far down. Okay, but we did pop up a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. ZB spiking a bit more. Oh yeah, by the way, 2 and 10-year spread down just a little bit. Okay, so good, but we need that spread to unwind if we that would be best. And then here's the E-mini. E-mini is significantly down and recovering. So this could this could make it for a very difficult area to trade, right? Because we might get big order flow going both directions. Also, this week, if I am not mistaken, you know what? We just can't open Forex Factory in Brave, so we're gonna have to open it up over here. Okay, we do have, yes, we have the FOMC statement on Wednesday. Now, do we have anything before that? Let's see here, on Tuesday, we get the housing index numbers. Today, we don't really get anything. Well, Empire State Manufacturing Index at 8:30. I guess there's that. Let's just fix that. Okay. Yeah. There's a couple of numbers. Not really anything too big, though. What about Friday? Nope, nothing for us on Friday. So it's kind of a light news week, but we do have the FOMC. So that's kind of where we're at in Treasuries. So that kind of, that makes things difficult. I mean, we've been moving down, so there's definitely going to be some impetus for that. We're kind of in a difficult spot, though, because there could be some support around here in the chart. And what else? And then it's kind of a week where the big players might not have a ton of reason to want to move. I don't know if the move down is done yet or not. That's kind of where I'm having a hard time. But I think that means for me that I'm going to want to play it a little bit safe. Yeah. So let's turn the robot on here. There we go. Oh, Journalytics is down this morning. I wonder if Pete is doing something to it. Well, let's pull up the Jigsaw chat so we can check up on that too. Exclusive. Saudi officials considered delaying Aramco IPO. This is after the attacks on the company's largest oil facilities. What else we got on the news? Well, let's go and add the drone strike thing into our news header.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, morning.
Good morning, Uzi. How have you been? You know, that reminds me, we should come in here, I think, and try and load. I have to change because I would change this ZN. There we go. Okay. I mean, the funny thing is that based on all of my look is that we would prefer to go long, but that is counter to the longer term trend. So it's tough call. It's a tough call. Let's load them up over into these ones too. I wish there was a way to just make it do it automatically every day, but It says it did it, but I don't think it actually did. There we go. There we go. So my bull bear zone indicator does not work correctly. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with it, but it should only be like 8. It should only be like 8 points. Let's look at the code for it. New Ninja Script editor. Okay. Bull bear zone of 0. I think it probably doesn't work correctly because I don't have the sessions set up correctly on that chart. Oh, which reminds me, I need to go and modify something here. Oh man, it's so interesting the way that YouTube suggests things to you. Like if I watch something about Overwatch, videos up the wazoo. It's like my whole recommended thing is about Overwatch. But then if I want to do learn stuff about nuclear power, that it'll never recommend me stuff about nuclear power. What's with that? Does YouTube have something against next generation nuclear power? Hmm. Probably not, but we should I'm going to change this. Yes. So we do have a video, but I'm going to have it come out at 7:15 this time. That'll give us a little bit of time to promote it just before the open on Twitter. Bada boom. Okay, so that was a pretty big iceberg there at 30. I suppose you could potentially go long there at 30, but the risk reward doesn't look very good. Oh, you would have gotten filled too. And it took. Oh, let's pull up these. Pull these back up. Ooh, Bitcoin took a tumble over the weekend, didn't it? When was that? The 15th? Yeah, I think that this could move a little higher.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, looking at 5900 as a high target in ZB. Above that may warrant a long bias.
Yeah, I got you. You think that they might come back and test that a little bit first, huh? Well, it's interesting. They had a little rush up there, didn't they? But it came back 2 ticks very quickly. So the market's already being difficult for retail, isn't it? Oh, that was a stack there at 03.5 too. Yeah, this is a tough spot. That move up and back down turns into a gap. Oh, you can see it right here. 2 ticks up, 2 ticks down. Gap on the one range chart. The instant I see a gap, like two gaps going opposite directions in the 10-year, I'm like, hands off. I hate seeing that. That always messes you up.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, below 5900 I'd also look at 5816 for support.
What about? You think that they would make it back to 13 to the opening range high? I think that's a good possibility too. It is possible. I tend to work in quarters for simplicity's sake. How come that one doesn't show up?
YouTube,
Oh,
Uzi
it's just a
Knesset,
little
it's
slow.
possible. I tend to work in quarters for simplicity's sake, lol.
Well, it is. I mean, 12 is a right. Telling you those 12 those twos 12 and well, actually, I guess it's not 12. It's usually like 10 and 20 tend to do weird things. So notice the low volume node at 20 is a thing. What about in the 10-year? What are the spots? I mean, I'm not looking at quarters, but okay, so there was the 31 half was a spot, and then the 30 half is the opening range high. That would be a pretty strong down move, though, to push down there. But I don't know. It's Monday. It's definitely Monday, isn't it? Ugh. And there's the 5-year ticks down and out, but it's giving the potential reversal here. Hmm.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. When I think of 16 as support, I also think in terms of a few ticks wiggle room, grinning squinting face.
Oh, didn't like that. Oh, whoops. That would. Oh. Oh. That's super interesting. Okay. I tried putting a sim order in, and it was trying to put a live order in because my because Journalytics is down. Let's see if it's still down. Seems like it's still down. Let's go into the chat room. Anyways, because Journalytics is down and that's where I'm doing the sim through, it's the account doesn't show up, so it won't let me select it. So it wants me to put it on a live order, which I'm not going to do. It's the same, going to be the same over here, huh? Well, where was I clicking at? O2 half?
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. Man, liquidity is still terrible. Neutral face.
Yeah. Well, when we started, I thought it wasn't too bad. Like, okay, here at O5 half, there's 29, and at O6 half, there's 4. But on the inside, O2 to O3 half, they're only sticking 16s on it, which is really weird. So, like, it seems to me like that the robots aren't willing to stick their necks out here, if you get what I mean. It is clicking, though. I mean, that's the thing that's kind of interesting is you look at this chart down here, there's actually quite a bit of large orders floating around there doing stuff. More than there was last week. So there's definitely something up. Oh man, and if I try and pull up the chat, let's see, let's check their Twitter. Let's see if they say anything. My back is already doing this like I'm not gonna stay in today thing. Okay, so I think it was at O2. It's a gateway timeout, so it seems like it's not necessarily that. Yeah, seems like they're having some server issues. And I get the same thing if I go to the chat, but not if I just go to their members page. Okay, I guess they're gonna tick down through, so that one would have been a loser anyways. It was a little tepid. I don't know if I had been able to put that sim order in there, I don't know if I actually would have taken the fill. But it kind of disrupted me, so I didn't get to see how it was ticking around there. Very good down move.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, short 27.
Short 27, huh? That's some size at 129 even. I'm still not sure about it because it did not take very much activity to bring it down here. And the liquidity is light. So if they wanted to flip it on us and move us up a few ticks, it probably
YouTube,
could.
Uzi Knesset, out +1.
Only took one on it? ZB is telling us something.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, not quick enough for me.
Okay.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, lol.
It did go down another tick or two, but they're putting pressure on it here. So it might flip. There might be a lure there. See this big order showing up at 22 as well? It's not an enormous, but it is a change.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, it's okay, we wait for the next one.
Yeah. Totally. It's a Monday, like we don't need to take a ton of risk, right? Donald Trump. Kavanaugh accuser doesn't recall incident. Do you believe what these horrible people will do or say? They are looking to destroy and influence opinions, but played the game badly. They should be sued. Biden doesn't join other 2020 Democrats calling for Kavanaugh to be impeached. Yeah, you know why? Because as crazy as Joe Biden seems to be, he is an experienced politician, and he knows you don't rush out, guys. If you ever become a politician, I'm giving you good advice here. I've watched this game. I've helped candidates. Okay?
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky, ZB stopped at 23, 1 tick above last swing low.
I've helped political campaigns. Trust me on this. When a story comes out, I know the whole social media thing is, oh, we got to jump on this so that we can get, the Twitter hits or whatever and all of the publicity. Yeah, okay, but you know what? If you get it wrong, you look dumb. So don't be rushing to jump out in front of these things. Like if it has legs, then you can come out and you can be part of like the second wave of stuff. Right? Some new Kavanaugh accuser is out. I wouldn't be jumping on it. I would be waiting and seeing, okay, let's see what we learn. And what did we learn? We learned that the supposed victim doesn't even remember it happening. Right? Like this person said, I was at a party and I saw Kavanaugh do this, and then the person that he supposedly did it to says, I don't remember that. Like, really? You can make this stuff up. You can make this. And it was like all I saw on Reddit this weekend. Kavanaugh this, Kavanaugh that. Oh, he should be impeached. He has an ill-suited temperament. Good. Come on, people. Come on. Yeah, it is giving me a little bit of maybe they want to turn here. So maybe 31.5. ECB's chief economist Elaine natural that debate over policy measures at ECB is taking place. Future governing councils can revisit this policy decision, but for now the decision is made. Okay. That's not too confidence inspiring. Man, I sure wouldn't want my trade to be dependent on the ECB to work out. Saudi Aramco tells clients oil loading has resumed. Oil tanker loading operations now in progress after disruption caused by
YouTube
Saudi
Dojo, a
Aramco
lie
events.
travels halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes.
Right. Well, I just, so there was something, who was it? I think it was Ilhan Omar the other day. They said, I'm controversial because that's what people want. It was a little bit more cryptic than that, but she was basically admitting that, in my opinion, my interpretation of what she said was, she's basically admitting that she says shit just to make the Twitter headlines. I mean, yeah, it's pretty hard to look at Donald Trump's success and not think that, hey, the most important thing is that I just give you the most clickbaity thing possible. I mean, I got the same thing. I've been trying it. I try different things for my videos to see what works best. And if you give your video a clickbaity title, it gets more views. If you give your video a clickbaity image preview, it definitely gets more views. And it's the algorithm is encouraging us to do this. And the algorithm is doing it because I guess that's human nature, right? So until somebody comes along, because the thing was with traditional media, they knew this sort of a thing, and they kind of, I don't know. At least I would like to think.
YouTube Uzi Knesset, clickbait titler, gone wrong, gone sexual, social experiment with red arrows pointing at things in thumbnails.
Right. Right. I would like to think that traditional news media kind of tried to have a little bit of a handle on it. Like, okay, we know that people like the clickbait article, but let's not be irresponsible with it. But nowadays, it's just like whatever gets the clicks, guys. Whatever gets the clicks. This is why things like Snopes, or not Snopes, uh, The Onion. The Onion's so popular, right? Because it was all clickbait. I mean, it's also hilarious. But then a conservative one, the Babylon Bee, they come out and they do the same thing, and they're hilarious, and
YouTube
it's all
Dojo,
clickbait.
haha. Seth goes rogue savage mode on the bond market.
Right. That's what we gotta put. That's what we gotta put on the videos. Well, I did do one. Let's find it. Let's go find it. Studio Analytics. Top videos. Of course, the video of my neighborhood on fire is the top one, but I think that one of these. Oh, maybe not. There's one, I think it's like the 23rd. I gave it a different title, but it doesn't look like it's actually the most. Oh well, let's sort it by impressions. That might help. That one, of course, is always the best.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, Savage Bond Trading, Gone Wrong, Not Clickbait.
Oh, here it is right here. So the 23rd, it was that Friday where we really moved. And I call it Friday Market Meltdown. And a little bit more of a click-through rate, just slightly. And pretty high on the watch time. They tended to watch it more. That's odd. That's odd. And this one gets so many more views than everything else, so. Everybody wants to know, should I do the combine? It's kind of crazy to think how many people did I potentially dissuade from trading the Top Step Trader Combine? And then they advertise on the video. It's pretty ridiculous.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, you could probably reverse psychology the thing and just title the video something about losing all your money. Then just sim trade badly and lie. The chat will be filled with people telling you
how to do it right. Oh man. Well, I've noticed in the past. Oh, you know, like let's come back here. Okay, so if I need a little bit more room, it's okay. We're still at 31.5.
YouTube, Ace Trades, morning.
Hey Ace, how's it going? So let's try the last year, for instance. Okay, so like this day right here, July 8th. Can we go back that far? Yeah. July. Yeah, pretty big down day that day. They're still kind of moving down, folks. So if I come back into here, okay. So some of these videos certainly get more than other ones. My one-off videos, okay, especially here's a clickbaity one, okay?
YouTube, Ace Trades, looking for a short around 2,998.75.
Oh. Hold on. I think I might take that. Okay, let's just watch it. Anyways, so my one-off videos, they tend to do better, right? This one, by the way, has a really great conversion rate. Okay, but then when we come back down into here, okay. Oh, why that one's from a long time ago. That's from 2017. Well, okay, so the 30th of May, for instance. Okay. Where is it? Right here. Oh, it wasn't a huge
YouTube,
mover.
Uzi Knesset, my target on the short I bailed on was 18 lol.
Wait till it goes past it, then take it when it comes back down. I was just thinking that. I was just looking at the chart. The ace. Okay, well, that's kind of interesting. I was looking at the chart and I was saying, well, I might be getting my confirmation here too. But when I get that, it tends to go past it first. So we'll just watch. Anyways, I don't have my, because Journalytics isn't working. Let's just retry it. Nah, it's still not working. Because Journalytics isn't working, it's hard for me to go back and find it. But I'm pretty sure that that was like an awful day for me. And then June 7th was a really big outsized move day. So like the days that I do really terrible have tended to be um, more popular videos. It's like somebody goes, he traded so badly, and then they're going and sharing it in like chat rooms, you know, look at how bad Sept did this day. Something like that. Because yeah, if it's a wild day and I do really well, no difference. But when I do terrible, it's kind of weird. I mean, I think that if I had videos that were like, uh, you know, you know, 60% win rate trade, yada yada yada, sort of a thing, probably would get a decent amount of clicks just from that. But you can tell very clearly if you look at my longer trend stats. Okay, if you want impressions, this is the thing that I'm struggling with right now. Like not struggling with, but like kind of conflicted about. Okay, so like these one-off videos are always more popular, right? And especially if it is like has anything to do with current events, right? Okay, Procter and Gamble, for instance, that video did really well, and that was a really good video too, even though I was like sick as a dog. But I was right. Like, it's not good for the company, but you couldn't have made money off of it on that short term because of the way that the market moved. You wouldn't that short wouldn't have worked. Um, okay, so some of these are good. Like the getting started trading futures is starting to do really really well. Okay, but if I come back and I look at like the um, well, how do I do it? Uh, well, I think I can just come over and look at like this. Okay. So like if you look at which videos actually generate more advertising, okay? Like where's the Procter and Gamble one? It's like way down there. Right?
YouTube, Dojo, does YouTube pay about $1 per 1,000 views? I heard that somewhere.
Well, no. Yes and no. Look at right here. So this is what I was trying to get to. Ignore the other numbers, but look at the playback based CPM, right? So this Top Step Trader video makes almost $30 per 1,000 views. It's pretty good. When you get it down, it's not that much money, right? And everything, just so you know, what do I do with this money? So far, everything that I've made off of it goes back into the stream. So that's how we're able to get like better camera, lighting, things to make the videos better. So it's all just investing back into it. And then there's a lot of things that I would like to do with the community. And I'm starting to try and get more into that community building. So like the video today, I'm putting out my export levels indicator that I've shared with you guys before, but I'm like, show you how you use it and have like a basic version of it for everybody. And I'm telling them like, hey, I'll help you make a different version of it with the level that you use. You know, all of it goes back into the stream. But anyways, this Top Step Trader one is $30 per click. So like if you're on Twitch, or sorry, if you're on YouTube and you're making like gaming videos and you're targeting children, then yeah, the clicks are only worth like $1, which is pretty crappy when you think about it. But if you target adult stuff like what we're doing, then the CPM is quite high. Those advertisers are willing to spend a lot of money on a click because that could potentially mean somebody starting a combine, somebody starting a trading account, a mortgage, whatever, like if they may actually make a sale off of that click, these people are potentially making thousands of dollars, right? So they pay a lot more per click. But look at it, right? So here's the Procter and Gamble one. Playback CPM $8 compared to like $30 for some of these other ones, right? Andrew Yang, $7. That one's like the lowest CPM almost. Okay, this one with the gun range fire, $5. Okay, so it's like I can go and I can make videos about current events and kind of try and play the news game. But it doesn't. The return on investment isn't as good. So to me, it makes more sense to continue focusing on trading videos. That's why, remember when I was doing those videos like almost every week about the presidential primaries? I don't do it anymore because it wasn't worth it. Yes, clicking in this 3-tick range is kind of crappy, huh, guys? And the E-mini didn't hasn't gone back up yet for us to try and take it short. There could be another leg down in the Treasuries, though, if the E-mini is going to retrace, reverse, or whatever. Anyways, so my current strategy is I'm going to put out more things that you guys can download, and I'm going to make more videos about programming because I've noticed that, like my how to debug, for instance, that video gets a lot of views and people find it really useful and it gets a lot of clicks. So I think that that's probably time better spent, you know, because there's tons of strategies out there and there's people that are better at teaching order flow than me. And there's people that are better at trading order flow than me. But the one thing that is really unique is that I can program, right?
YouTube, ace trades I got in anyway because I was bored, up 3 ticks, about to get a point. Snoozeville.
Yeah. It's a tough spot here because there's this risk from the attack on the Saudi oil, but then there's FOMC this week, and otherwise there's not a whole lot of economic numbers on the docket, and then we're kind of had this really strong trend, and we're kind of at a support level. So I would expect to see volume going both ways. But then when we look at the market, it's actually pretty quiet. Okay, so the treasuries are telling me that they might move down a little bit. That downtick there might mean that they might push out below 30. But it's in a range, so they're going to fight to keep it in the range, but somebody's trying to push it. This move in Bitcoin is interesting. I keep looking at it and I'm like, okay. Head and shoulders. Break. Shoulder test. Break lower. Your technical analysis read, which is going to be completely unreliable, especially in on this time frame in Bitcoin, says everything says down. And I'd say even the futures are kind of maybe potentially saying down because the people started to really go short after this. It looks like a couple of people panicked there. Anyways. Okay, so there's a bubble. 400 is a bubble. That's interesting. And the treasury ticked back up. Let's see what it does. If they move here, they might create an imbalance that we could take in the ES. I wonder if that's really weird. Is if you guys go to jigsawtrading.com, does it load up? I'm wondering if it has something to do with my proxy. Now that works. Try a different browser. Okay. So a little bit of movement in the 10-year. But the E-mini not responding. Got in anyways because I was bored. Why would you just get in because you're bored? And I tell you what, that just gets me thinking about the 10-year. Because the thing that I always hear from people is, oh, I can't stand the 10-year. How does anybody trade that? It's so boring and it never moves. But like, that's the thing. That's why you should trade it. So like, if you have a problem taking too many trades,
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. Well, there's my first regret for the day.
getting out off of only taking one tick off of 28, huh? Or almost, they haven't hit your target quite yet.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky. Jigsaw can't log into my account at the site.
Okay, so I can pull up their front page. Okay. And do you get like a 504 error, Greg?
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. I shorted 27 in ZB and bailed at +1 like a douche and my target was 18.
Your target was 18. I'm not sure you would have gotten filled at 18 yet.
YouTube, Ace Trades. Sorry bro at Uzi Knesset.
I'm definitely getting... Well, that's weird. So if I go into Chrome, it gives it to me. But if I go into...
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky. Won't load, just get stuck.
But when I go into my Brave browser, it doesn't load the front page. And then from Brave... Oh, sorry.
YouTube, Ace Trades. There always is.
Sorry, I can load the front page in Brave, but not in Chrome. So now let me try going into the members area. It's just churning.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky. Firefox.
Yeah. You know what? Firefox. Firefox was one of the greatest disappointments of my life. I know that that's like a really silly, dumb thing to say. Oh, hey, it loads up over here now. Okay, so maybe, how do you get Chrome to flush DNS? Okay.
YouTube, Ace Trades. Firefox. Might as well dial up AOL. Maybe I can find you one of their CDs?
Clear host cache. Okay, let's try that. Oh look, now I can get the membership page. No, I remember back when it was the day, and what was the one before Firefox? Mozilla. That's right, it was Mozilla, right?
YouTube, Luis Alarid. Date check.
Right. So it started out that it was Netscape and Internet Explorer. And I remember when I first started the internet way back in junior high.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky. ECB Lanes is commenting.
Ah, is that why we're being pushed down? But, you know, Started out with Netscape, and then Internet Explorer came out, and I was always a little upset because I thought that Netscape was better, but then everybody started making their websites for Internet Explorer, so it was like, screw it, whatever. I didn't like them at that point. So then Mozilla comes out. I started using Mozilla. I used Mozilla for a really, really long time. But the problem with Mozilla, there was a problem with Mozilla. It was slow because it was too big. They were like, let's make every possible feature in a web browser. We'll do it. So these people at the Mozilla Foundation, they go and they say, hey, I know, let's make a stripped down version of Mozilla that doesn't have all of the stuff. Like, we don't need the IRC client and the mail client and all of these things. We just need the web browser. So we'll keep it small. So they made Firefox. That's why it's called Firefox, because it's fire and it's supposed to be fast or something like that, right? And then what did they do with Firefox? It got bloated. So you can still use Firefox, but like, why? Because then Chrome came out and Chrome had better thread management, and that made it faster. So everybody started using Chrome. But then you don't want to use Chrome because Google is evil and using all of the data for, who knows what. So you don't want to use Chrome now either. So now the one that you want to use, in my opinion, is Brave. I like Brave because it blocks everything by default. And once you start seeing what kind of information the websites are tracking that gets blocked by that, it's eye-opening. You're like, what? That's evil. But no, Firefox, man, they screwed up. Like, it was a disappointment. And then there was that whole thing where the guy that like started the Mozilla Foundation got ousted and stuff, and he went and he made Brave browser. So yes, one of the larger disappointments that I've had with software was Firefox becoming bloated. Was like in Star Wars, is like you were supposed to bring balance to the Force, not destroy it or whatever. That was the same thing. It was the same thing. You betrayed us, Firefox. Well, they're pushing. U.S. tells Saudi Arabia the oil tax launched by Iran. ECB's laying 20 billion euros a month bond
YouTube
purchases means no
Dojo.
issue.
How do we know Brave isn't an NSA project?
Means no issue with buying limits for an extended period of time. Well, how do we know that it isn't an NSA project? Well, so first of all, how do you know?
YouTube Uzi Knesset. Sellers defending 16 in ZB.
And they went in ZB, didn't they? How do you know that Chrome is not a NSA project? So you already got a problem, right? So I don't know, but what I do know is that Brave blocks websites from tracking stuff. But I tend to go along with the, it's not a thing until you can prove it. So if you can prove that it's an NSA project, then it's the same thing with Tor. Remember they were saying that Tor was an NSA project and that like
YouTube Dojo. It is, isn't it?
The Tor was like it's supposed to be a way to browse the internet anonymously and everything, but then we found information that the government
YouTube
pretty much
Ace
knows
trades
where
at
everybody
Dojo.
on
It's not.
Tor is.
Relax.
Like the government pretty much knows every user on Tor, anyways. And I don't know how they do that, but that was like, what? You can't get away from it, can you? Probably you can't. Man, well, it was a good and down move. I don't think I ever saw a short, per se. Well, this one here that I said they're going to try and move it. I did say that they might try and move it a step lower, didn't I? Yeah, I did. So that one totally worked. The E-mini's still kind of where it was. Until Lane is done talking, I'm not sure that I want to be in it, because who knows what they're going to say. I suppose they could continue moving down, but...
YouTube Michael XC. Isn't it suspicious just by the fact that you're using Tor?
Isn't it suspicious just by the fact that you're using Tor? Yeah, I think so. Because, like, honestly, is there anything really worth looking for on Tor? Because as far as I understand, it's all either wares or like extremist ideology kind of nonsense. So I think that that's why.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky, Tor Dejinged at U.S. Naval Research Lab.
I don't. I think the Tor was like. I think the argument with Tor that they were saying that it was an NSA project was that the uh, the encryption and stuff originally came from the government or something to that something along those lines. But I think that what's happening, I don't think that they can break the encryption or anything like that. But I think that they just like they have other ways of spying on you, so they find out what you're doing that way. Is what I think the deal is with Tor. Remember when Iran shot down a drone saying knowingly that it was in their airspace when in fact it was nowhere close? They stuck strongly to that story knowing that it was a very big lie. Now they say that they had nothing to do with the attack on Saudi Arabia. We'll see, question mark, says Donald Trump. I don't know.
YouTube, Dojo, what is the best search engine in your opinion?
Well, when I'm looking for something, I usually use DuckDuckGo. I mean, the browser automatically goes to Google, but like if I'm really searching for something, you can't use Google. It's just it's so crazy. I know that that sounds like conspiratorial or like, oh well, you're a right wing nut and you just don't like what Google gives you, but like it, Google straight up hides shit. They straight up hide things from you. It's crazy. Like I'll remember a story. I'm like, okay, this came out before, like this Kavanaugh thing. Okay, that you're saying that he exposed his penis to somebody or something like that. Now, if you go over to Google and you search for it, all of the results that you're going to get are going to be from the past day, right? So if you want to go back to a year ago and find when this accusation was first brought up, which it was, and you search for it on Google, even if you restrict the time frame in which you search, you'll have a very difficult time finding it. But if you go and you do the same thing in DuckDuckGo, you probably find it. So I usually, for my real research type of stuff, I'll go to DuckDuckGo. If I just want to know like what the most popular of X thing is, then I'll go to Google. But if I'm actually doing like news research, I use DuckDuckGo. So I do you remember this thing? We talked about this when this story came out that
YouTube, Michael XC, they hide things especially in the search suggestions.
especially in the search suggestions for sure. And we also found out that they actually removed the word kefefi from Google Translate to prevent people from being able to discover that it was an Arabic word. Like that's just like that alone. That alone should be like probably shouldn't be using Google if you're really trying to learn something because they had stuff from you. It's kind of hard to watch this 19 take downswing, isn't it? I mean, it did give us a signal here, but I don't know if your risk reward and everything like that was really a great short. And it's Monday. Oh yeah, and I can't even take one anyways because Jigsaw trading is having issues. So let's see now. If I go to this page. Aha.
YouTube, Ace Trades, coming up on 2 slow points.
Okay, so let's try restarting Jigsaw now. I think that the issues might be gone.
YouTube, Algo Lover, GM winking face.
Good morning.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. When I Google Kofifi, nothing but stories debunking what you said about Google removing it from their translating service thinking face.
Of course. Of course. Okay. So that fixes it. Okay. So now that we've fixed that, we get to go and promote our video that's out. Your channel. Okay, here it is. So guys, here is my new video. So go ahead and load that up now. Just like start another tab and you can watch it now. That the more views we get in the first hour, the better. So if you guys watch it now and give it a like, that really, really helps us out. And then I'm talking about in that video about um, Jigsaw and Ninja Trader. So if you use something different, I want to know why. What is it? Is there
YouTube,
something
Ace
about the
Trades going to
platform?
leave this trade on through the opening instead of cashing out.
Okay. Is there something about the about another software that you think is better? Something like that. Like let me know. I kind of want like that kind of a discussion because I know that there are like CR charts, for instance, comes with more stuff out of the box. For instance, that's one advantage to it. You know. But anyways, let me know, and then we're gonna come over here into Twitter and tweet. Yep, Jigsaw Trading says it should be okay now. Cool. All right, so
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. Welp, we went back to the opening range.
okay. Tweet, tweet. I'm certainly feeling now like, oh, why didn't I take that trade with Ace? But like, I don't know. I guess it's like 3 points is not a huge deal, but the way I'm seeing some of this volume going into it, and he says he's gonna keep it on, kind of makes me wonder if they're gonna sell this. Okay, well the treasuries are doing something interesting. How come they're oh because I restarted it, that's right. Well, Okay. If I get a reversal, I might
YouTube
take it.
Algo Lover ZN 128 220 is or over under from right here. Above anticipate a hold of the range to higher. Below anticipate gap fill to lower nerd face.
22. Hmm. Oh, interesting. The absorption at 29.5.
YouTube Uzi Knesset fill to lower nerd face.
Watch that video there.
YouTube Uzi Knesset. It's funny how it reads emojis. Sorry, lol.
Yeah, it does. It is funny. It says, I'm out. Should have taken the 2 points. Ow, really? Oh, it came. There was a little rush up there, huh? Well, now I'm getting something. I think that I should take it. If I can.
YouTube Ace Trades. Yeah, I object that someone wearing glasses is a nerd face.
But that's what the emoji was intended to be. That's what it was intended to be. That's what when they put it into the
YouTube
smiley
Ace
said.
Trades. Yeah, locked in 2 ticks just to cover the trade.
Yeah, that opens. It's Monday. You know, it's Monday.
YouTube Algo Lover. Nerd face at Ace trades its cool face with tears of joy.
Oh man, why is my leg going to sleep? Must have been sitting on a nerve there. Ooh, here's my video. Check this out. You like the panning? I tried doing some B-roll footage in this video. So I got this thing. Watch this trade. Watch this trade in my video. I gave you the link. You guys got the link earlier, right? Watch this trade. Like I got it. I got the fill. It went 1 tick against me. And it's just kind of like, look at it go. Ooh, and I'm all that. I sped it up a little bit so you can see
YouTube
the whole
Algo
thing.
Lover. At Ace trades is short the nerd face. I'm long grinning face.
You're along the E-mini? And then you get a pretty good rush up into getting filled. So just I went through and I was like, okay, let's find like the best trade to show in the video. That shows the DOM, like a lot of crazy stuff going on. And
YouTube Ace trades 2 min.
2 minutes to the open, yes. Okay, so did get a fill. Yeah, if you haven't clicked that link, just go and click it into a different tab. Control click it so it opens up in a new tab, and just go and right in the background. Give it a like. Really helps out. I'll open it up over here. What is the best pal? Mute it. There we go. Oh wow, it's already got 5 likes. Thank you guys so much. That helps.
YouTube Algo Lover. It was a lame joke at Ace trades read the nerd face zipper mouth face.
That's zipper mouth face. There we go.
YouTube, Algo Lover, 8:36 a.m. Algo Lover, S. If sellers hold this bounce below 3010, then anticipate another down rotation, a bid back above 3010 before trading down would be bullish nerd face for what it's worth.
Okay, so I was starting to get an okay downtick, and
YouTube,
then
Algo
on
Lover,
the open they ticked
8:37
up.
a.m. Algo Lover, CL if buyers squeeze back above 61.65, then 65.50 target. If sellers hold below 61.65, then anticipate a rotation down into 57.75 nerd face.
Oof. The whole oil thing is super crazy, isn't it? They want to hold this bounce below 3010. It's up there. It looks like they're
YouTube,
going
Algo
for it.
Lover, HAGD. Thumbs up.
Hey, thank you, Algo, for stopping by. So the first impulse appeared to be long, but they are reversing an impulse from just before the open. The Treasury ticking down, but they're not holding an offer at 29.5. Not yet, at least. Nor are they putting an offer at 10.5 in the 5-year. This can be a tough one because it often gives you that signal right before the open, but I'm finding that sometimes it works really well. So maybe I should start doing some tracking on that. Right now, I'm not incredibly impressed with the sell side. Okay. E-mini's going back and forth. It's a pretty good mix of flow. Another uptick. Not holding a bid. But the offer, 10 3/4 in the 5-year, pulling.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, 16 got the juice astonished face.
It's funny how they always come back to that price, isn't it? I don't know if it's just confirmation bias or what. I keep trying to think of how can I prove that statistically that there's something about 16, but I can't. I can't figure it out. But I know, like, you just watch it. It always come back there. Okay, so they took 29 way too easily. They were not putting offers up. Now all of a sudden, 2 ticks down. E-mini making some new highs. There probably is quite a bit more volume that can come in long here in the E-mini. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing an overextension yet, but they did tick back up there. Wow, they sold 1735 that time.
YouTube, Algo Lover, S. The anticipated plan was a continued bounce, squeeze higher defined, sell from higher levels, with 3010 being the over-under nerd face.
Gotcha. You're looking to fade this at some point, but you think that it's good, that it could potentially come up to here. Hmm. Okay.
YouTube, algo lover. Yes, if we see a hold, thumbs up.
Win said something, but it got blocked. Good morning. It's because of Algo. Like Algo said something first, so it didn't read it. I'm observing while doing some other projects. Given the drones and the oil situation, you may not need my football ferret and hopefully funny sides. Well, it's Monday, you know. It's always hard on Monday. So here, this trade, I'm having a hard time even getting 3 out of it.
YouTube, ace trades. At Winstanzamam, we always need you, dear.
Oh, thanks. The way that the oil thing is going to play out is going to be really interesting. I mean, the thing is that there's been many times where there's been some global high risk over Iran or North Korea, and there was a temporary panic by the markets, and then it ended up being nothing, you know? And that may well be the case with this. It sounds like that while they haven't assessed the damage per se yet, but they are back online, so the disruption to this oil supply should be minimal. The United States apparently is going to open up its reserves, though I wonder if they take that back. But for now, they're going to open up their reserves, so that's certainly a negative for price right now. But there's global uncertainty about it now. So does that escalate? Or does it just blow over like everything else?
YouTube, Winstanzamam, ace trades. This weekend I watch Ray Bolger dance the Apache dance. You need a beret and I need a black silk skirt when we try this one.
The beret dance, what? Okay, so the E-mini turning down a little bit and causing the treasuries to tick up here. But as they tick up, I'm noticing some stacking again. Saudi Arabia says Iran weapons used to attack oil sites. Okay. We're studying now the place from which these weapons were launched on oil facilities. Well, it's kind of telling me I should hold
YouTube,
on to
Greg
it.
Orlovsky. Saudis trying to find location of drones. Trump tweeting about gun control.
Yeah, here's his tweet about gun control. Democrats would rather talk about gun control than get something done. Quoting Governor John Sununu. The big questions are, will they move the goalposts, and is this just a ploy to take your guns away? I hope not on both counts, but I'll be able to figure it out. Yeah, the sad thing about the gun control thing in Congress right now is that it seems to me, and I could be wrong, but my read is that Donald Trump wants to do something on gun control. But the Democrats are pushing it so much in the way of, we're going to take your guns, Beto O'Rourke being just saying crazy things, frankly, that it really makes it hard to actually do something, you know? They have a chance. They have a chance to make a good law change that could maybe keep assault weapons out of the hands of dangerous people. But man, the way that Democrats are going about it, I don't think that they actually want gun control. It seems to me like they're just trying to play the politics of it. I don't think they actually want a bill passed. Or maybe it's just that they're always going for broke, They want the thing that they want and they're not going to settle for anything less. I really don't like that uptick, but I think I'm just going to let it do its thing. Because it's telling me it's overextended here. Well, not overextended. I shouldn't say that it's overextended. It's being pushed. And there wasn't absorption on that low side at 28.5.
YouTube, ace trades. I would love to have someone explain how me not having a gun will lower the gun violence.
Right. It's just, the whole thing is silly. Well, the thing that drives me nuts the most on the gun control issue is the assault weapons. They want an assault weapon ban. But what people don't seem to realize when we talk about an assault weapon. See, we pick up like assault weapons from like video games, right? We think that an assault rifle,
YouTube ace trades. I guess me giving up my car will end all car crashes.
right? I think that we think an assault rifle is like a fully automatic rifle, military style rifle. And the truth is that an assault weapon is just a rifle like any other rifle that just looks militaristic. There's nothing about the functionality of it that's different from any other gun. It mostly has to do with the way that it looks. That the defining characteristics of an assault weapons under the ban that we had in the 90s mostly had to do with how it looks. So if you ban those, what have you accomplished? Absolutely nothing. Listen, those people out there that are going to do shootings, they don't care what it looks like. Hey, if they required all guns to be pink and frilly and cutesy, okay, the terrorists they would play it up. They would totally just play into it. No question about it. Because they don't care what it looks like. They care about the utility. Okay. Well, looks like we're not going
YouTube
to get
ace
this one.
trades. If I make it all pink with flowers and soft curves with unicorns, will it then not be dangerous?
In 1902, there was two cars in the state of Hawaii. They had a head-on collision. Most of the spin on the Democrats wanting to take away our cars, stakes, and guns that simply campaign tactics to scare us. Oh, Dojo, two thumbs up on that comment. In 2017, more people were murdered with hammers and blunt objects than rifles of any kind. Really? Well, yeah. I mean, you just go and look
YouTube
at
Uzi
London,
Knesset,
right?
lol.
The whole thing in London, they're like, well, we banned guns, and now people are using knives, so now we need everybody to turn in their knives. It doesn't do anything. It's totally dumb, for sure. But I mean, that doesn't mean that laws can't be made that can't help, right? Like if somebody has a mental health issue, they should be watched. Now, I don't like these red flag laws where all you have to do is say, "Hey, my sister shouldn't own a gun,"
YouTube ace trades. At Winstan's mom, of course they do. How else do you explain crop circles?
or "My ex-wife shouldn't own a gun," and you go and report them, and then they can't have a gun. That's a really really bad idea too. But you know, they could improve the system that we use for background checks and all of these sorts of things. It's a higher high, but it's just I don't know. I'm gonna take the -2 on it because I didn't want to take much more risk than that. You can see they're distributing in some format 30 half.
YouTube Winstan's mom. Well, the aliens told me that the crop circles usually are from the side of the sun shading away and growing the fungus that makes the crops lean towards the sun. Their spaceship was silver.
Now, something else I see going on here is that the ES is seeing some volume divergences. So the treasuries are bidding up, probably because there was a lot of sell order flow in the E-mini.
YouTube
But
ace trades. Leaving to fix breakfast.
despite all of that short volume in the E-mini, they're still moving up. Saudi-led Yemen coalition says attacks were not launched from Yemen. I think that I should have taken that trade off at break even and be going short at 30. See, it's like maybe I could get filled there. They're stacking at 30. See, he's pushing it. He's doing it with bids. What price are you doing it at? Okay, so there was one at 30 for sure. And he's got 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 27.5. Yeah. Okay. So that downtick was maybe significant. Pulled 600 from the bid. Totally flipped it there. Operations at Saudi Arabia's Safref and Petro Rabigh oil refineries slashed by up to 40%, traders citing IIR. Hmm. Well, I haven't heard a click for a while. No, there's one. That one's like far away. trying to tick up at 30.5. I would have liked to have gotten filled there instead. Liquidity does appear to be improving. Alligator pointing out that there's a volume point of control pivot here. So I think he's talking about 31. Good deal. Oh, that's not a good deal. I'm ticking it at 30.5. Someone should ask why Saudi is doing so badly in conflict with the unsophisticated Houthi tribesmen. E-mini. Threatening the highs again. Oof. So they're still kind of stacking and pulling at four ways. So here at 28 and at 01. You see how there's 3,000 there. And now watch 01 if they tick down again. It's 19 and now it's 27. See that? Boris Johnson is not going to be doing his bit of the press conference in Luxembourg. Xavier Bettel will. Firefighter killed, multiple injured in massive explosion in Farmington, U.S. Where's that? Which state is that? I mean, there's got to be like 100 Farmingtons in the United States. I don't think it was Farmington, Utah, because I probably would have heard that. And there's nothing up there that could pop that would explode. No, maybe down in North Salt Lake, but not. Today's content should help stabilize small range, in my opinion, slight up bias. Well, E-mini did make a new high there, and now they're kind of pulling back. But we do get a downtick in the treasuries. 28 still has 2,000 on it. They've moved the liquidity down. Yeah, they moved it down to here. 27.5 and 27. Good downtick. It's kind of interesting the way this one's turning out. Let's see if it runs for more. So we're going to come back to this 28.5 areas where we stopped last time, right? Down tick. They're still pulling good. Okay. It's a little too clean. And now here's the same spot. E-mini threatening that high again. A little bit of an iceberg at 28. So for sure some profit taking there. There was a big iceberg there at 28.5 that they just bought through. So I tweeted about the new video. So if you're out on Twitter, go and give that a like. If I'm not following you on Twitter, let me know. So I want to make sure I've got at least you regulars in here. Just drop your Twitter profile in the chat, and I will definitely follow you. I need to work on our Twitter marketing a little better. Okay, so down tick. Hitting. Not flipping yet though.
YouTube Ace trades back for a bit. Miss anything?
E-mini is hitting highs. It's unclear how far it can go. Treasuries. Trying to push to the downside now. Where are they putting it? So we got a good downturn there, but they're already stopped at the 28.5. And now they're trying to push it here as well. I don't know if that means that they're going to hold it and push it back up or what.
YouTube, wrong ZH. Hi guys waving hand.
Hey, wrong. You are late. I don't know if you're late. I don't know when your trading time is, but would have been
YouTube
nice to
Uzi
have
Knesset
you,
11 to
an
16
hour
is an
ago.
annoying range in ZB.
Right. These kinds of ranges don't develop in ZB as much as they used to, but that's exactly the kind of
YouTube
spot
Ace
that
trades
screwed me
at wrong
over.
ZH morning. What's up?
I had such a hard time telling that we were entering into an area like that in the 30 year and which side of it we were on. So I would always think that I was buying the low of it, and then it actually ended up being the high of it and that sort of a thing. You ever get that? Of course you get that. Everybody gets that, right? So even though they've done some upticks here, it's it's kind of doing this choppy thing in the tenure as well. They failed on the Mueller report. They failed on Robert Mueller's testimony. They failed on everything else. So now the Democrats are trying to build a case that I
YouTube
enrich
Uzi
myself
Knesset.
by
Too
being
much
president.
volume clogging the toilet, grinning, squinting face.
Good idea, except I will and have always expected to lose billions of dollars for the privilege of being president. And doing the best job that has been done in many decades, I am far beyond somebody paying for
YouTube
a
Ace
hotel
trades at wrong
room for the
ZH. That
evening
sounds like fun. Dried paint.
or filling up a gas tank and at airport I do not own. These radical left Democrats are crazy. What about Obama and Netflix?
YouTube wrong ZH. Yes, grinning, squinting face, grinning, squinting face.
Yeah. What is there to investigate about the Obamas getting a production deal with Netflix? I don't know, Jake Sherman. There's plenty of things to investigate that don't make any sense with Donald Trump. I'm just saying, Obama made some money. Maybe you should investigate. Because to me, it just doesn't make sense. Why, of all of the people that you could give a production deal to, why Obama? That doesn't seem weird to anybody else? Okay, they're trying to take 28. They can't hold it.
YouTube Uzi Knesset. Investigate D's nuts.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. The whole thing, like forget the Netflix deal for a second, but like all of these political people, they will write books because my understanding is like you can write a book and a publisher or somebody can buy a ton of it and then not actually like need to be buying that much of it, and that's like a
YouTube
way to
Ace
launder
trades
money.
got a short signal at 3003.25, but I won't take it.
3.25, interesting. So what about the action would you would not take? Is it just the trend up too strong for you?
YouTube Michael XC. Of all the people you could give a Nobel Prize to, why Obama?
Well, that one was, so I'm going to try and be real about this one, right? I think that people have their own cognitive biases and that we aren't very good at detecting when we are ourselves biased. And I think that a lot of people really liked the shtick. I guess you could say the message. Shouldn't say shtick because now I'm putting my own bias into it. But a lot of people really liked Obama's message, and they really believed it, and uh, um they kind of misconstrued
YouTube
or
Ace
like,
trades. Yup, it might be a good place to go long for a pullback.
okay, I see. They kind of like uh they confused in their mind what Obama was saying with actually doing something. And so they ended up giving him a Nobel Prize for something that he hadn't done yet. And if they had waited and for his actual actions, then he certainly would not have gotten it, would he? Okay. Attempted tick up held. They kind of got their hand on the throat here, and they're pulling the liquidity down at the lows.
YouTube Dojo testing Brave. What are HTTP upgrades? I see that count next to ads and trackers blocked.
So I think that has to do with when you get forwarded. If I could be wrong, I would have to look it up, Dojo. But the thing that I look at is the ads and trackers blocked. It's like it's crazy, right? Like every page has like 5 of these things that trying to track you. Okay, there was a new low. Well, I'm glad I stuck with it. It's an interesting thing about the way that I trade, especially when it's kind of slow like this, is that it really identifies well places that they are trying to push it too far so that they can reverse it. But you never know how far how successful they're actually going to be at it. On this one, they pulled back to where we took our entry, and then they were able to shove it another 2 ticks. And then after the 2 ticks, then it went. Well, this is kind of getting interesting. I'm wondering. So the 20, they're holding the 2000s, but like what's with 17 at 25 half, 18 at 24 half? No, we'll just take that. If there's an uptick with 1,000, then we'll take it.
YouTube Dojo. When you make a non-HTTPS request and Brave upgrades you to HTTPS where available.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Crap, I'm not sure what to do here. Okay, fine. But that puts me up 4, right? Why don't I have... Did I close it? Sometimes the window just disappears. This window. Yes. Okay. So overall plus 4, which for a Monday is just fine and dandy. 30 to 27. That's fine. And they didn't quite get my 8. I don't know though. The way that they pulled and everything, they're still doing it at 25 half and 26 half. So they may just be pulling back like 2 or 3, well, maybe 4 ticks, and they might try and push it again. Yes, it pulled back at 31 and just went down from it right when I wrote my daily bias. I wonder if, just looking at the cumulative delta here, so you can see when they came up to 30. Here, I'll make it big. I'll make it big, and hopefully that will make it easier for you guys to see, okay? When it came up to 30, that was where I took my short, okay? And they definitely flipped it down too. Now look at the delta, just a little bit. So it was almost like he didn't get enough. So he let the gas pedal off and let them bid it back up. just so that, and he actually pushed it. See, you're getting that from here to here, and they did it again here, right? They were pushing it. It was up because they were using orders to push it up so that they could flip it. And then they did this whole thing. And here they pushed it down, and they pushed it down a little bit too quickly. But it's interesting to me how easily it was to stop that. But that's maybe just an indication of where we're at. Would have been nice to have gotten 7 ticks, but now here they're maybe building it up again. So they might try and do it. They might try and push for a low again. But again, how you don't know if he's pushing it and that pressure is up. I assume it's up, but a lot of that is just my assumption from the location. They push it up. How far up can he get it before they stop and flip it? So very interesting. There was more large orders involved today though than normal. Excuse me. More orders involved than normal. Yeah, you don't really see anything in the Vista chart. So for me to take 4, I would have liked that 5, but and you know what? If we had taken the 2 off of the first trade, or just taken that one off break even, and we came out like 6 or 7 today, actually could have come out +8 today. That would have been awesome for as difficult of a day as today has been. So I think we'd have to say we're being pretty successful. And this is kind of the sort of action where this strategy was designed. So that is also good that we're seeing that now and that it's working. But it sure takes a lot of discretion still, doesn't it? A lot of discretion in read. Mm-mm. Well, let's see how our video's doing. Ooh, almost 20 views. Thank you so much, guys. That's really good. 20 views in the first hour. Bunch of likes. Getting that engagement. If you haven't left a comment on which platform you're using in that video, I would really help out. Not only because it helps, the engagement boosts the video, but sometimes I forget, and it would just be nice if everybody went in and, like, we had that discussion about platforms, and I can always go, okay, yes, this guy uses this, and this is why they're using it. Because it's it's one of the more people love to talk about the platform. Like if we go into our Discord, I had to create a channel just for platforms and brokers, and it's relatively common. Relatively common. Mm-hmm. Hmm. What's this one right here? Is it the same one? Let's see. Somebody's posting a gauntlet link here. If I come over and do ours. Mm. It looks like the Earn to Trade website is doing a special where you can do the gauntlet for $25 this month instead of $125 or whatever it is. I wonder, because of the micro futures, they having trouble getting people to do the gauntlets? Can only hope, right? But $25 for an opportunity like that is a good deal, I think. Like you spend $125, that's like, you know what? You could have started a trading account with that. But $25, then it kind of turns into, okay, well, I tried a few times. Don't you think? I can hear the rabbit upstairs. We gave her a wooden house to chew. I can hear her chewing. And it sounds to me like somebody is in the bathtub. So I keep looking up like, what is that sound? Oh, that's right. There's a rabbit up there. Boom, boom, boom. Some parsing failures in there, but I think we're okay. Hmm. That was at 10,338. We're actually a little bit higher now. So they way overextended. That's crazy that they did all of that on the 12th and now. Then the 13th was Friday, right? And then over the weekend, a little bump and push lower. Ugh. Encoding overloaded. Why did it drop a frame there? There was no reason for that. No reason for that. I'm really concerned that my video card is just going. You know? All right, 23rd. Let's see here. What are they saying in Discord? Long shot, but I feel like they're going to drift lower. This action is terrible. I'm not planning on touching it unless something changes, but possible we see 18 at some point tomorrow. Today, I guess 180. Yes, they sell every technical level so far. They're successful here. Value agree with probable turnaround, but timing pretty hard. Oh, they did end up ticking a little bit lower, didn't they? So that almost happened almost exactly the way that I said. 4 ticks back and then lower. Interesting. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see what they're saying here. Still go for another 7 minutes or so. We'll probably stop at 8:30. We made 4 ticks. I'm happy about it. I'm really happy about it, guys. Did you Uzi made some off of that short at some point, right? It's just a shame that he didn't hold the one all the way from 29. Good grief, that would have been awesome. Probably could have. Well, I don't think he would have held it for the whole thing. I think that he would have taken it off at his target at like 19, right? 19 could have gotten 11. But remember when I was like, what about the opening range high? Well, they blew right through the opening range high. That price level wasn't useful at all.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, no regerts.
No regrets. Why does it read out regrets but not no? That's weird. It's kind of interesting how it decides to do what the choices it makes sometimes seem like no rhyme or reason. What's Google? What are you doing? Is this part of how Google tries to manipulate us? How do we know that my
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. The spelling regrets wrong meme doesn't get read? Lol.
oh, is that what it is? You misspelled it, so it didn't get read. It knows that it's not a word, so it didn't read it. Oh, if it does, that's smart. Let's see here. No regrets.
No regrets.
So if it knows it's a word, then it reads it. And if it knows that it's not a word, then it spells it out like an acronym. That is interesting. Guys, we have to wonder at this point, how do we know that the service that I'm using for my text-to-speech robot is not an NSA project? How do we know? We don't know. This robot could be manipulating us with how it chooses to say things. Man. You see when we start getting into the conspiracy theories, this can just go deeper and deeper and deeper, and there's no end to the rabbit hole. I'm just telling you, you've watched The Matrix. I've been watching a lot of video essays about the Matrix because I feel like that the Matrix had a good message. And a part of that was because back during the Bush years, there was very much like a,
YouTube, Uzi Knesset,
oh,
no regrets, is a reference to all the dummies who've gotten their no regrets tattoos misspelled lol.
oh, there you go, yes. But you know, at the time George Bush was president, and so there was very much this anti-authority sort of a thing. But it was really like anti the whole system. It was like, hey guys, the whole system is set up to exploit you. Don't you realize? And then when Obama came along, they kind of just like threw all that away. And just like, hey, Obama's president, we don't have to worry about that sort of stuff anymore. And now that they're back, um, it's interesting that Donald Trump is the one that's in power, but the Donald Trump supporters kind of seem to be more of the, you know, the system is bad, and Democrats are more of, hey, the system is good, because it's a globalism versus localism argument, right? So I kind of feel like that through all of that, that the message from the Matrix was kind of lost. Okay. But anyways, they talk about, you know, you take the red pill and you find out how deep the rabbit hole really goes. Well, you know, if we're talking about real life and you start getting into conspiracy theory sort of things, okay? You know, you go down the rabbit hole, there is no end to that hole. It's just a hole of self-propagating nonsense for the most part. Doesn't mean that you won't find things in there that are true and useful
YouTube,
to you in
Michael
life. But be
XC,
careful,
wasn't Clinton
man.
president in 1999?
Well, you know, that's a good point, Michael. Maybe I think though that it was like George Bush became president in 2000, right? So when was it? What month was it released? The Matrix. I guess I shouldn't say that like the Matrix. If it was incorrect, if it seemed like I was saying this, it wasn't my intention to say that the Matrix was created to push against George Bush. But I felt that in internet culture, that part of what made it so popular was because it was like a cultural rallying point against the George Bush administration. And you notice that when Obama became president, the anti-establishment, anti-system kind of narrative movies were not as common and were not as influential. So, like, well, so another good example is V for Vendetta. That was very popular, and that was definitely during, well, not very popular, but, you know, very popular in internet culture and very influential during the Bush years. But then, like, what have we had since then? Like, what happened during the Obama years? I think the one that I can think of during the Obama years was Snowpiercer, but that one's communist nonsense. So, like, you know, what you gonna do? Let's see here. What month did it come out? Release date March 31st, 1999. So it would have been before the people knew who was going to win the election. So I don't think that they were necessarily thinking about that, but I certainly always saw it. It was the Democrats liked the Matrix more than the
YouTube,
Republicans.
Uzi Knesset, I got an extra tick by the way, sold '06 into '05. So I'm up a whopping 2 ticks today. I am amazing, lol.
Oh, that was the only one that you took? Wait, so when you said you sold '06. Oh, interesting. You know, I should revise something that I said earlier, because I said, hey, there at 18 there was
YouTube,
nothing there.
Dojo, all of the agents and the cops in the opening scene were white males. No stereotypes there.
Ah. So if they remade the Matrix, would they have to have a more diverse cast? You know what, man? We didn't even get started on that
YouTube,
sort of
Greg
a thing.
Orlovsky, Enemy of the State, 1998.
One of the reasons that I am very confident that some of the social justice warrior trends are nonsense and will blow over is just that if you go back even not even 10 years ago, it's like almost every movie they would have a problem with. Like, okay, Morpheus is black, but that's like it. That's like it. There's not enough minority representation, even though the movie was created by two transgender guys, and a lot of the allegory that we thought was about we were reading so deep into it was actually about their internal struggles with being transgender. But I mean, come on. You know that if they made when they make the new Matrix, they don't have enough minority representation and some LGBT people in there, that people will be upset. Although I would assume with the Wachowskis being involved that they would be, they'll make sure that that sort of stuff happens, right? But I guess maybe I could to kind of try and be more accurate. When it was
YouTube,
out,
Greg Orlovsky, the
oh, the
Oracle was
Oracle
blocked.
was black too. That's a good point. That's a good point. And there was some Asian people in there. I don't know, but maybe having one black guy in the main trilogy, maybe they did have enough representation. Maybe they wouldn't have a problem with it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But there's no black agents. I'm just saying. But it was always the Democrats liked that movie more. I always felt the Democrats liked that movie now more, and now I feel like that they
YouTube,
ignore it.
Dojo, they would stick to the SJW script if they do a remake. The agents are the evil ones, so they would continue to keep the agents white males.
Maybe. We'll see. Or will there be agents? Will the new Matrix be different? Or is it like a flashback? I don't know, because they're saying that there's still going to be a Morpheus, but that it's not going to be the same actor, or that there's going to be a younger actor. That's going to be interesting. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in there. I mean, here's the thing. Just to go back to politics, and then we'll end the stream, right? But when you look at politics, what are some of the things that they're pushing? Well, for instance, gun control. They're pushing gun control really, really hard. Oh, you know what? I remember what it was now. Is the movie, hold on here a second. John Wick. So I watched the movie John Wick, and John Wick is probably the modern equivalent of the Matrix, because John Wick is basically all about, they have a social contract, and John Wick is destroying that system. That's what it is. It's like it's a destroy the system fantasy, right? I think there's a lot of allegories in there that are useful to today. Because when you look at it in John Wick, what is the purpose of all of those social contracts that they have? They're to exert control over other people. And what are some of all of these, when I look at all of the things that they're trying to push in politics these days, what are they about? Well, like gun control? What do they really want gun control for? It seems to me that it's about trying to exert control over other people. I don't see it any other way.
Knesset, I stopped watching movies and TV. I'm tired of polititainment.
I'm tired of polititainment. I mean, this is definitely out there. It's everywhere that I look. It seems to me like everything is trying to exert control over you in some form or another. There are algorithms out there, and they say that the algorithms are designed to, push what we think is popular and find what we think is popular. So they're saying that it's for our benefit. But when you look at what they actually do, the algorithms control us. It's like we live in the literal matrix now, guys. All of these algorithms, they're just using our brains for processing power. Like they totally own us. And it's unavoidable.
YouTube, Knesset, every ounce of entertainment I consume as you dummies on YouTube face with tongue.
There you go. Thank you, Uzi. I feel that that is the great evil in the world, is control. That is like the prime evil. Is give me control over other people and I will make everything great. That's the thing that I think we need to get away from. And for me, on gun control in particular, I felt that the problem with gun control is that we are giving up power to somebody else. Give me the guns. I will keep you safe. You don't need that kind of power. No, never. Guys, if you have any little tiny ounce of power that you have left in your life, don't give it up. Don't give it up. Not on gun control, freedom of speech, anything like that. Freedom of speech, a really, really good example. We've given up way too much to political correctness. I used to be super politically correct. Like, I used to be the guy that back in the 90s on the forum, well, really, I started on forums really in like 1999, right? So mostly through the 2000s, right? I was always that guy that was like, that was like really offensive. Maybe you shouldn't swear. Maybe you should be a little bit nicer and these sort. That was me. But now I turn around
YouTube,
and I
dojo,
look.
control, and a lack of the free exchange of ideas is dangerous.
To me, it was just like, we want to be courteous and things like that. But what ended up happening is we gave up power from it.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, you used to be the guy who had his pronouns in his Twitter bio?
No,
Grinning,
no, no,
squinting
no,
face.
no. I've always been conservative, but I felt that online discourse was not courteous enough. I thought that there's this group of people that just want to run around and cause chaos and be mean to everybody, and that they need to be chopped down. That in order to have good internet discourse and in order for online communities to be healthy, that we need to chop those people down. And what I've learned is that that was an attempt to control other people. It was evil, essentially, in my view. So it wasn't like full-on social justice warrior, but anytime that we're trying to exert control over other people, I think that's negative. And especially when it comes to a societal level. That doesn't mean that there aren't, that there shouldn't be laws and regulations on things and stuff like that. It's just there better be a really good effing reason for it. You know what I mean? That's what I think. But the whole reason I bring all that stuff up is
YouTube, Uzi
hold
Knesset,
on.
I never understood how people couldn't reconcile the fact that being a jerk online and being a jerk IRL are two completely different things.
Yeah. Well, I still think that we should try to be as courteous to people online as we can be in real life. But I don't think that we can. I think that has to be a personal thing. It has to be like, I try to be kind, and I would encourage you guys all to be kind. But I don't think that we should make some rule that says that if you're not kind, that you should be banned from the internet, because that's control, right? And they will use that to expand control and take control away from us. So the reason I bring all that up is just, think about it. Some of the movies out there that have been out there, maybe there's some ideas in there that have been lost or misunderstood, or when, the group that liked them before, they don't like them anymore, and just kind of watch and you'll notice things. It's kind of interesting. By the way, I am seeing here now that they are trying to tick down at 29.5, he's pushing it again. I don't know if that means that it's going to flip or if they're trying to push it a little bit higher than 31. I suspect that he wants more higher than 31. I think that to make a read on some of these, that I need to pay a little bit more attention to where the stacking and pulling is at, because the Vista chart doesn't show it well enough. I do see some stacking down below us, though. They might be trying to push this up to a new high. Either way, there's another setup here. Cancel culture is why I don't engage in prolonged online discourse. Bump that. I don't want someone coming into my house or some crazy stuff like that. Yeah. Well, it's okay to watch videos, but you got to be, we should always be cognizant about how are people trying to affect people. Even me, because obviously this whole thing is me trying to use the influence that I have to get people to think about certain things. And the problem that I see in the world today is that large organizations are trying to take a power away from individuals and small organizations. That's the thing that I think is a problem. So you got to try and think for yourself apart from me. That's why I don't, if somebody disagrees with me, there are people that I could just be like, well, you're totally stupid, I should just ban you. But I'm never going to do that. I want people to speak freely, because, that would be hypocritical of me first. And second of all, we need those contrarian opinions in there to keep us in line, so that if there's a trade and I'm wrong about something, that I don't double down on something stupid. You got balls to be honest. Get politics on camera, real name out there. All you need to is one bad apple to shit on your day. Well, it's not like people haven't tried, but you know what? And I'm sure that somebody could probably misconstrue something that I say, and I'm sure it's going to happen at some point. But I feel that um, you should never be ashamed of what you say. And I don't say things that I'm going to be ashamed of. And I don't say things that, maybe I can come back and I can say, okay, 10 years from now, maybe I was wrong, but I'm never going to say that I was ashamed of doing it. It was just, that's where I was at the time. And I just ended up being wrong on that issue. But I don't think this whole idea to try and paint you as somebody immoral or something like that. No, I'm okay with who I am today, and I'm not going to hide away from it. And there's people out there, they want you to hide who you are because they don't like who you are. And I'm not going to fall into that trap. What was this about Lighthouser? U.S. Trade Rep Lighthouser told him that U.S. Chinese trade deputies meet on Friday, September 16th. It is September is 16th is not a Friday. Oh, it was just 10:39 a.m. is when September 16th is when that news hit. But you're saying this Friday. So that is good to know. That could really constrain markets until Friday, even after the FOMC meeting. Ugh, good grief. We have a tough week ahead of ourselves. I'm happy that we got 4 ticks today because we might need the space. You know darn well that ain't good enough for the mobs who tried to get you fired. No, you know what? People have tried to get me fired from my job for saying stuff online. No joke. No joke. And you know what my boss said? He said, "Pound sand. My employees can say what it can believe whatever they want." So they got my back. That's one of the reasons that I've, because sometimes I get bored of my job, but that's one of the reasons that I've stayed there, is that they really care about you, and it's a family there, and they got your back, and they wouldn't just allow some character assassination sort of a thing to go through, If I worked for Goldman Sachs and I had a YouTube page, and I wouldn't be able to trade, but I still said the political stuff, and somebody complained at Goldman, I think that they probably would say that you can't. I don't think they would fire you, but I think that they would say, hey, if you're going to continue to stream, you can't say controversial stuff. You can only be entertaining, which would be lame and pointless. I don't separate online personality from in real life personality. Character. I mean, I tend to go the same way, but I also feel like, well, like sometimes I will swear. Like, remember I say it's a technical term. Sometimes that's just the only way to convey the emotions that you're trying to convey to people, Sometimes I say things that are a little politically incorrect, you know. Sometimes saying something kind of nasty is maybe necessary, okay? But some people, they turn it into that's their whole online persona, and that's wrong and harmful. But anyways, but this is where going back to another thing. That's why we really like the streaming format, because then we get to have somewhat more personal interactions. And the whole format of having, a leader of a discussion and people talking back and forth with you is super great. And I really hope that streaming becomes popular beyond video games. Right now it's just the thing, Twitch and video games. I really hope that there are more streamers out there that, like my channel is kind of like the equivalent of CNBC. And I hope that there are other people out there that start to do that sort of a thing and try to become the CNBC of streaming, or the MSNBC of streaming, or the Fox News of streaming, or whatever the take is. Because I think that this format is so much better for us as people than, Twitter, right? Anyways, it is now 8:45, so I think I really gotta go. So we'll end it there. We could pick it up tomorrow. And yeah, thank you guys for showing up. If you haven't watched the video that I put out on the channel about what is the best futures trading software platform, check that out. Give that video a like. Leave a comment there about what software you use. Also, if you try out my export levels, and if there's something you want me to add into the export levels for you, I'm totally willing to try and write something for you. So just put that in the comments as well. Share the link around. That really, really helps. If you liked this video, give us a like. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. If you haven't hit the bell icon, that really helps you find the stream. Most of our users actually do that, so thank you very much. I trashed your jigsaw on your vid. So I'm excited to go and read it. Popularity Matters, because I think that there are definitely some counterpoints to jigsaw that I did not cover. Yeah, and then one last thing. Oh yeah, check out the Patreon. We have some Bitcoin charts, some good stuff over there if you haven't checked it out. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable.